The ballroom at the Westin Hotel in downtown was full on Wednesday. People were hearing from survivors of residential schools, knowledge sharers, and in the late afternoon, representatives from the federal government and representatives from the Anglican, United, and Catholic Church. Edmonton is the first stop on the national gathering on unmarked burials associated with residential schools. Kimberly Murray is the independent special interlocutor selected to lead their 2-year mandate to help Indigenous communities find the resources and help they need to find those children who never made it home. She was the executive director of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
The main role that I have is to work with the communities that are doing the work of recovery and to see what challenges they're facing and barriers, and how I can get those barriers removed when speaking to the federal government, provincial governments, church entities, and any others involved that were involved in Indian residential schools.
This conference offered breakout sessions on finding records and the latest in unmarked graves search technology. Bringing people from across the country allowed ideas and best practices to be shared. Kimberly Murray says there were some common concerns she heard from listening to survivors and leaders.
Big concerns over supports for wellness in the community. Some communities are being denied supports for wellness of members on their search teams. So that's an immediate concern that that we need to address. Also, the commonality with all communities is access to records. That's an ongoing, I know everyone's heard about this with the church records, with the government records, and people are really trying to learn where their records are and how to take ownership, control, and possession of these records.
In the late afternoon, those gathered heard from church leaders how they plan to help in finding those children still missing.
All physical and sexual abuse that happened in Indian residential schools was also spiritual abuse. To be a representative of the church and to dare to preach the gospel or to convert somebody to Christianity and then to also abuse a child created damage to spirits that we can never undo.
We can only flourish together. That's our goal. It's an ambitious goal, it's an audacious goal, and it will not be a goal that will be solved with quick fixes. It's a goal that will take 7 generations, I'm sure, but we're committed to it every step of the way.
The voices that
Marianne Haggerty France says Archbishop Richard Smith was unable to come here due to previous commitments. She told the crowd that she did not speak for the church, but gave her thoughts.
I think that there's limited capacity in a lot of these places, which means that we do have to be effective in how we collaborate and use the resources. There isn't an endless pot of resources. And I think that people are very careful with the resources they have, but our most precious ones are our human resources.
The next conference will be in November in Winnipeg, with up to 6 more after. Kimberly Murray will develop recommendations for the best path forward and present those findings to the Federal Minister of Justice and the Attorney General of Canada. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.